I want to take you on more of an entrepreneurial, a little bit of a journey here to get you to understand what I think being an entrepreneur is. And it starts where you're at right now. I'm sure all of you have ideas of what you want to be, what you want to achieve, what kind of business you want to go into, what kind of an employee you want to be. Because being an entrepreneur, yeah, you can be a business owner, but you can also be a great employee as an entrepreneur and coming up with great ideas for the employer you're working for. Part of the first steps that I gained in my life was understanding this ought, this word ought. And for me, it was a belief in my Christian values. For some, it's it can be a belief in their Buddha, whatever, the universe, something higher than you are. And I always try to maintain that if my words and my thoughts aren't inconsistent with my actions, my ought, things were just not going to happen. For me, that's exactly what happened with Bajio. My partner and I, we were very much consistently going down the same track when we first started the concept. But we veered off of it when we started traveling a lot to Mexico, and our lifestyles, we chose some pretty poor choices to where I fell away from my faith and some things that happened that way, and relied more on what he and I wanted out of life and the instant pleasures rather than looking long term. And as soon as my ought became out of balance with what my actions and my thoughts were, I knew I was going down the wrong path. Didn't know how to talk to my partner about it. When you're in a partnership, you are married to that person. And so you need to pick partners that are going to be having the same ought as you. He had a completely different vision of what he wanted to do in life and how his actions and his words were not at all consistent, which created havoc in our franchise system. Our franchisees saw my partner to where it was a cash business and he would take money out of the till and not report it. Well, our franchisee said, well, if he's doing that, why can't I do that? Well, one, it's stealing from the company you're franchising from. Two, you're stealing from the government. You're going to get caught. And so we had this cancerous problem going on in our organization. And when we came to it, it came to a head one day to where he and I started sitting down and saying, okay, what do we want this company to be? Because we've created something here that is going to destroy us or it's going to make us very successful. And just at that time, we were fortunate enough to have a guy walk into our restaurant and invite us in or have us over for a meeting who was with Subway. They came in, they offered to buy our company. At the time, we thought it was a huge blessing for us. We thought, oh my gosh, this big organization, they're the biggest franchise group out there in the world, and they want to buy our little company. And they could take this to so many different levels. And plus, my partner wanted to move on and do his Harley Davidson thing. I wanted to move on and do some other stuff. But I was intrigued by learning from Fred DeLuca, the owner of Subway, about what franchising really is. So we chose to sell. Hindsight is always 20/20. It was the worst decision in the world for us to do. They took our once great concept and just destroyed it. They did what every big organization does. They try to look at the bottom line, and they forget what made that bottom line great at one time. And for us, it was the food and the people. He and I got into this business because we loved employing people. We forgot that. We loved helping everybody's situation out. We loved serving awesome food. We had killer food before we sold it. And they just dummied it down to go after the food cost, the bottom line. And there's a tact, there's a fine line. You can have all of that, but you can still maintain that integrity of the concept. So a few questions for you. What kind of journey do you want to go on? What kind of business are you looking at getting into? And then do you have goals of how you want this journey to happen? Because without goals, if you don't plan to succeed, you're going to plan to fail. I truly believe it.